KVHU 95.3 presents Artist Spotlight, the life and music of a legendary performer.
Welcome to Artist Spotlight. I'm Shamra Selm, and today we will be talking about the life and work of Enya. With her new age and Celtic sound, Enya has easily become a favorite throughout several countries. Enya was born as Anithre Dion in Gwyndor, County Donegal, Ireland, on May 17, 1961. She is the sixth of 9 children. Enya came from a very musical family. Her grandparents and father were both in a band that played throughout Ireland, while her mother played in a dance band and later taught music. Enya was in several pantomimes at her local theater and sang with her siblings and mother in the choir at St. Mary's Catholic Church. After high school, Enya left for college, where she studied music and water painting with the hopes of becoming a classical pianist. But fate had other plans for her. In 1980, Enya started working with her siblings' band called the Clannad as their keyboardist and backup vocals. But in 1982, their producer and manager, Nicky Ryan, left and Enya joined him to start her solo career. Together, they created their own recording studio called Aigle, which is French for eagle, and with that, her career took off. Enya released a few instrumental pieces in 1984 and helped write some of the music for the Frog Prince. Which is where she would first be credited as Enya instead of her birth name. In 1986, Enya was contracted to provide the music for the BBC show The Celts. Many of the songs that she produced for the show would later appear on her first self-titled solo album, Enya. This album attracted little attention at the time, but in just 2 years that would all change when she released her second album, Watermark. Which featured her hit song, Orinoco Flow. This song topped the charts in the United Kingdom and peaked at number 2 in Germany. The Watermark album sold 11 million copies that year. Enya was very surprised by the album's sudden success, stating that she never thought of music as something commercial, but more personal to her. She was not the only one surprised, though. The surprise success of Watermark actually caused a delay in the completion of her third single, Storms in Africa. Due to her traveling to promote the album. This didn't stop her, though, from creating. And just after 3 years, she followed Watermark with Shepherd Moons. This album sold 12 million copies and earned Enya her first Grammy Award. Many of her songs were used in films such as Toys, Green Card, and Far and Away. Enya was even offered the chance to compose the score for James Cameron's 1997 feature film Titanic, but she declined. Instead, James Horner created the heavily Enya-influenced score for the film. Following a 5-year break, Enya released the album A Day Without Rain in 2000, featuring 37 minutes of new material. The album is Enya's most successful to date, peaking at number 2 on the US Billboard 200 chart. The first single, Only Time, was used in the film Sweet November and received U.S. radio airplay in late 2000. May 2001, NBC began using Only Time to accompany commercials for their television series Friends, which helped the song top the adult contemporary and adult top 40 charts. Then, our nation was struck by tragedy on September 11th, 2001, and Enya's Only Time was used as a soundtrack in many radio and television reports about the attack. Enya released a special edition of the song, and a maxi single was issued on November 20th, 2001, featuring a pop mix with proceeds donated to the families of the victims. Only Time peaked at number 10 on the US Hot 100 chart. A little bit later in 2001, Enya recorded May It Be, which was featured in The Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring.
May it be when darkness falls, your heart.
She also performed the song Anaron, a song sung in Tolkien's Elvish language for the film. Again, Enya took a bit of a break to create music that she truly loved and wanted to share with others. In 2006, though, Enya released several Christmas-themed albums, including Sounds of Season. This album featured Amid the Falling Snow, a Gaelic version of Silent Night, The Magic of the Night, and a few other songs. This album was only released in the US as an exclusive partnership with NBC and the Target departments. By mid-2007, Enya claimed to have sold 80 million albums. An American business person even coined the phrase Enyanomics to explain Enya's ability to sell millions of records without giving any live performances. Enya has gotten several requests to perform live or to go on tour since her release of Watermark, but she has said that tours and live concerts of her music are virtually impossible due to the logistics of trying to replicate her sound on stage, since she creates her signature sound by layering as many as 80 tracks of her own voice together. Though there have been a few times that she has performed live, she's usually lip-syncing or singing along with her track. November 2008 saw the release of And Winter Came. This album follows her passion for the Christmas period.
Believe in what I say. Don't throw this time away. Tomorrow will be Christmas Day.
It also features a guitar on the track My Time Flies, which is an instrument rarely heard on an Enya recording since I Want Tomorrow from the Celtics soundtrack. Enya has been known to say that music is her first and only love, which would explain why the artist remains single and with no children. And love takes time. With her last album being released in 2008, many thought that Enya had hung up her hat. Lucky for us, though, they were very wrong. Enya just released her newest album, Dark Sky Island, on November 20th, 2015. This album remains true to her unique sound and has every Enya fan satisfied by the wait. Enya never fails to impress and satisfy with her soothing sound and memorable hits. Thank you for sticking around and listening to this edition of Artist Spotlight featuring the ever-talented Enya.